Hey guys, my name is Brandon. Thanks for watching. Today I'm really excited to share with you my new Rockler HVLP sprayer that I got for Christmas as a gift. So I'm going to show you a little review of it, do a demonstration with it, and kind of clear up some things that are a little confusing in the instruction manual, like how to change out the needle, because I needed to learn it on my own anyway. Recently I reached out to the guys over at the Askcast, Paul Jackman, ZH Fabrications, Zach, and then Graz Makes, and super popular podcast. Everybody's listening to it. These guys had a lot of good information. You ask them a question, they can fire away. They got a lot of information. So go ahead and watch or listen. It's a podcast. Listen to it. But yeah, so I'm going to do a demonstration with this. This thing will spray latex paints, varnishes, tomato. I got this chalkboard paint over here that works really well. So yeah, show you some close-ups of it right now. So now you have a better view of this thing. It comes with the body for it. This is like the compressor. Air hose, which pushes air through the gun here. And then comes with the gun, obviously. Extra needle. So I've already swapped it out. This is the 1.5 millimeter needle. This can spray some thinner materials. And then the one that I have on here is the 2.5 millimeter needle that's on there. I'll show you how to swap that out. I'll kind of show you how to clean the gun and show you how to use it. Also comes with this little tool. You pretty much need this to replace some things in the gun too. And yeah, so I'll go ahead and take it apart here in a minute and show you. Also, this thing was super cheap. I want to say about $99 on a sale that they had, which they do occasionally. It was around Christmas time, so it was like a Black Friday sale. Regularly 150 bucks, well worth $150 for this thing. Super efficient, really easy to use. Okay, so here's the gun. You have your control valve here, whether you want a vertical spray or horizontal spray. That just controls the inside of the valve here and the nozzle on which direction it's going to be shooting air out of, because when this is on, it constantly is shooting air out of there. You get your flow control valve back here, so you can, depending the amount of volume that you're spraying a finish, more or less, whatever you need. Obviously, you do too much, you're going to have some runs pretty quickly there. So I'll show you to replace the nozzle in this. This is the 2.5 millimeter nozzle, which fits nozzle and needle, which definitely need to go together. I have the 1.5 in here. Still going to use the 1.5 for what I'm about to, the finish I'm about to use. But I'll just show you really quick how to take that needle out. So this unscrews from here. You lose that piece. I'm going to grab that really quick. So what just fell off there, this is the air control nozzle here. So there's nothing really mechanical in this, no moving parts or anything. It's just open air holes. And then the flow control valve here controls the direction on where the air is going to push out. So this just has a channel on the side here that pops out. You have your nozzle here. Now in the instructions, it's a little confusing because there's a lot of arrows and showing you how to pull this out, and I was trying to turn it for a while and it wasn't working. So you need to pull the trigger that forces the needle back past the nozzle. Put this little clip that it comes with, and that should pop right off. Okay, there's your needle there. And the other side of this has these two prongs, and you're gonna reach down in there with that, and that's gonna unscrew. It only takes a few turns to take it out, but if you look on the end of that needle there, it is threaded. All right. So the best way to kind of show this, in order for that to pull out of there, I don't know if you can see that, there's little fins on the end, well, fins on the needle, but also fins on here that only lock in one direction. Because if I try and pull it out that way, it's not going to, but as I'm turning, now it's locked into place there. But still using that needle, so I'm gonna put that right back in there. That just goes down in. You're gonna turn that until it stops. You're gonna then pull the trigger, move that needle in. Just makes that nozzle easier to go on there. This goes back through that slot there. And then you need your air control nozzle. I'm just calling it that. I don't know if that's really what that's called. And you're ready to go. So the way that this gun works, pull off the paint cup, you have this air tube here. There's an extra hole. Air is consistently flowing through this hole here, and it's coming out of these nozzles constantly as the machine is on. There's also pressurizing this cup here, and no pressure will be able to escape out of there until you actually pull the trigger. Then that will force air in this way to force paint through the tube and out the nozzle. So we'll go ahead and spray some finishes. Oh, and also the direction that this is facing, if you're spraying in an upward direction, you want that nozzle facing back. Downward, you want that nozzle facing forward. They didn't really say it, but I'm assuming if you're just kind of going flat with everything, you can just have it to the side there. I think that's what I'm gonna do today. So yeah, that's the gun. That's most of the maintenance. Make sure every time that you're spraying latex out of this thing to wipe that nozzle clean after you're done. The latex dries super quick on there. I'm sure a lot of other stuff will dry super quick on there, and then it's a little bit more of a pain to clean out. And then clean everything right after you're done using it. So we're gonna go ahead and fill this thing up with some finish and see what happens. Okay, so now we're ready to go ahead and put some finish in this thing. Paint cup comes right off. Rockler sells extra paint cups with lids. I did not get that, but I can get that soon. Today we're gonna go with the tomato. This is something that they suggested on the Askcast. Askcast, A-S-K-C-A-S-T. Paul Jackman said he uses it. It's food safe. It has thinning instructions on the side. It says mix with 1 can of water. It says for creamier, you can use milk, but I don't want to do milk paint today. I'm just gonna do just the straight base and water. These are one-time use, so when you open it, you got this little pull tab here. I guess you can leave it in a can or something. It's food safe. You don't need to worry about vapors from this stuff, so you don't have to wear a mask when using it, and when it sets, it's not gonna stink up your garage that bad. So just put that in there. It's definitely thick. You wanna pretty much thin anything that you're gonna be putting into this thing, especially with the latex paint. Even with the 2.5 millimeter needle that I put on there, I still needed to thin it out quite a bit. I don't know the exact ratio I did, but I sprayed some spar urethane with the 1.5 millimeter, and that worked really well just on its own. Actually, you know, I did add a little bit of water to that too, just like I'm gonna do to this one. So it says a can of water to thin it out, which is nice that they put that on there. Okay, and then you use a paint stirrer to stir that up. It's looking pretty good. Okay, so you want to use a paint stick or something. I've got this piece of maple plywood that I use. Also, you want to make sure that you're using clean paint in this thing. You don't want any chunks of debris going through the gun. I don't think there's any screens or filters in there. So make sure your paint is clean that you're putting in here, or you strain it out before you put it in here. But yeah, just make sure you mix that up really well. It's actually looking a good consistency. I love the color that it gives the maple. Yeah, looks good. Okay, so now I've got my finish in the paint cup here. Again, you want to face that nozzle whatever way you're directing it to. I'm just going to try it like this and see. I think there's enough down there that'll reach even if after I use it quite a bit. We'll try it on some different materials and see how it turns out. Just make sure that's on there tight. Make sure you have a little gasket that's in here. It's a foam gasket. It falls right out when if you take that piece off of there. Got paint mixed in there. Finish, sorry, not paint. Next, you're gonna have connected this hose to here. You don't need to push this thing in too far. Don't push it in too far because it will separate the chassis here. It is made out of plastic, which is probably why it's so inexpensive, but it gets the job done. Then you're going to attach the other end of the hose to the back port here that's on here, and again, don't force that thing in there too far. So I've used this a couple times and I've not had to undo a little zip tie, or not zip tie, little twist tie that they have here on the cord. This hose is crazy long, and I can literally have this sit up on the bench and work over on that side of my garage with how long this hose is. It also has a little clip for holding the hose. I still have not figured out how the hell to put the hose in here. I know it goes in there. I put it in there and it takes up too much space. I usually store this thing in its box. Got your on and off switch here. Everything else is pretty no real maintenance needed to this thing itself. I'm assuming once this thing goes out, you'd be replacing it. But yeah, so here's the setup. We're gonna go ahead and try a couple different materials with some finish on it and see what it turns out to look like. Okay, so I got the unit plugged in back here. Just gonna keep it up on the bench. But all I have to do is just hit this power switch and we're on. Okay, so I'm gonna go with a vertical spray pattern on these. I've got air constantly coming out of the gun. And then I can up that flow control a little bit more here. Light passes. Yeah, so really happy with the finish, how it looks on here. You can kind of see the difference in the tops and the bottoms from them. They're gonna look great tomorrow when they cure. Really excited with the Rockler HVLP sprayer. Be using this thing a lot, so stay tuned. I also noticed on the can of tomato, it said it works great with grilled cheese, so. Really good. All right. So there you have it. I'm not going to get into painting techniques because I'm still learning them myself. From what I've painted so far with this thing, it has turned out really well. I recently did this little moon shape thing and you can't see from there, but it is flawless. Pretty amazing. I wanted to thank the Askcast guys for Paul Jackman, Zach from ZH Fabrications, and then Graz from Graz Makes for pretty much answering my question. I really appreciate your honesty in answering tips for using this thing. So thank you very much. My name is Brandon. I'm Sonoma Coast on Instagram. My company is Beam and Branch on Instagram. Go to our website, beamandbranch.com. Beam and Branch on YouTube. Thanks for watching.